Christ in the Old Testament, Genesis 3:15, the first promise of the Messiah, the first messianic promise. Genesis 3:15, KJV, and I will put enmity between thee and the woman, and between thy seed and her seed. It shall bruise thy head, and thou shalt bruise his heel. Spoken after the fall of man. First prophecy of Jesus Christ introduces spiritual warfare. God promises a victor over Satan. Romans 16:20, KJV, and the God of peace shall bruise Satan under your feet shortly. Understanding the seed of the woman. Humanity versus Satan. Physical seed, Christ born of a woman, virgin birth. Christ as the ultimate fulfillment of prophecy, Galatians 4:4, KJV. But when the fullness of the time was come, God sent forth his Son, made of a woman. The bruising of the heel, Christ's suffering. Genesis 3:15, Nari KJV. It shall bruise thy head, and thou shalt bruise his heel. Satan strikes Christ's heel. The crucifixion, Christ strikes Satan's head. The ultimate victory foreshadows death and resurrection. Isaiah 53:5, KJV. But he was wounded for our transgressions. 1 Corinthians 15:55-57, KJV. The enmity, spiritual battle across history. Genesis 3:15, KJV. Enmity between the serpent and the seed Satan versus humanity versus Christ. The church participates in this spiritual conflict. Victory is already secured through Christ. Ephesians 6:10-17, KJV. Put on the whole armor of God. Typology in the Old Testament. Foreshadows of Christ, Genesis 4:4, KJV. Abel's offering accepted. Christ as the righteous sacrifice. Genesis 22:8, KJV. Isaac as a type of Christ Exodus. 12:21-27, KJV. Passover lamb. Old Testament points forward to Christ. God's plan was revealed progressively. Luke 24:27, KJV. Beginning at Moses and all the prophets, he expounded unto them. Christ is the victor. Over Satan, Genesis 3:15, KJV. Bruising Satan's head. Christ's resurrection. Final victory. Satan's power is limited. Believers share in victory through faith. Revelation 20:10, KJV. The hope of redemption. Genesis 3:15, KJV. God's first promise of salvation. God promised salvation immediately after the fall. Shows God's grace and plan for mankind. Encouragement for believers today. Romans 5:12-21, KJV. Where sin abounded, grace did much more abound. Christ is the central figure of the Bible. Believers live in victory through him. Spiritual warfare requires faith and obedience. Colossians 2:15, KJV. Having spoiled principalities and powers, he made a shoe of them openly. 1 John 3:8, KJV. From Genesis 3 to Revelation, God's plan was established at the fall. Christ was promised before creation. The prophecy in Genesis 3:15 is fulfilled in Jesus' death and resurrection. Believers share in the victory over sin and Satan. Revelation 12:11, KJV. And they overcame him by the blood of the Lamb.